It's a pleasant Sunday morning in the Wakatipu Basin, and remarkable vet Jeff Woodhouse is on the move. Jeff set up his clinic, Remarkable Vets, 3 months ago, after making the big move from the city to the country. Today he's checking up on George, a goat who is slightly less of a billy goat than he was 2 days ago.
I just dropped him to have a wee check on our wee man after castration and dehorning a couple of days ago. And just wanted to check in this weather everything was going nicely, and he's looking pretty good. He's moving a little bit uncomfortably. I'll just take this. Hello, Jess speaking.
While George is progressing nicely, there's a more urgent problem just up the road. A visitor from Auckland has rabbit trouble.
Rather unusual situation where a bunny, a particularly much loved bunny belonging to a school that's been looked after, just for the holidays has gone missing, and I suspect from the sounds of it, missing and where it won't return. So he just wants to have a chat and see what we can do to try and resolve the problem.
So it's a quick trip up the road to the scene of the crime. Aucklander Stephen has been looking after his friend's rural property, a dangerous combination at the best of times.
They entrusted me with a very, very serious responsibility to look after a rabbit, the local school rabbit, which they had been looking after all summer long. But this little one, little Xavier, he was a bit crying last night, and so I rushed out, didn't properly check and lock the rabbit hutch.
Right.
Came out this morning, mate.
Bunny's gone.
Bunny's gone.
Not just any bunny, but a special mini-lock bunny that Stephen needs to replace before heading home. And he wonders if Jeff can help.
And this little one, school starts in a week, and the little kids will be missing their bunny.
Right,
so we've got 7 days to find a bunny. Can you help me?
It won't be a sweat, okay, because we have the contacts. There are some good bunnies around. I think we'll be able to find a replacement for the Montessori without problem, yep.
The next morning, Jeff gets Alicia on the case to try and bail the Aucklander out of his awkward situation.
Oh, that's great. Hey, thank you very much. Okay, bye. Well, excellent. Only had a couple more phone numbers to go, so that's great. I think we've, hopefully found it. It sounds exactly like what sort of they're after. They seem to have a huge range down there in Invercargill, she was explaining. So she's really confident that she's got something that is of that description. So yeah, hopefully the kids at Montessori have got something to look forward to next week.
Meanwhile, some great news at the clinic. Achilles, the clinic's stray kitten, is slowly improving. While he's still partially paralysed in the rear end, he started motoring around the clinic a lot faster. And he's always looking for trouble. With business picking up, the new vet Nikki has started working 2 days a week at the clinic. She's settling in nicely, giving Jeff some much needed time to sort out the administrative side of the business. For 3 months they've been using a diary for bookings, but that's about to change with the arrival of a brand new computer system.
Okay, so we'll just put everything into inactive.
That's what I've been doing. Anything that I've doubled up.
And inevitably, there's a bit of a learning curve involved.
That's okay, inactive's good. And then we can always go find it later.
The practice has tripled its client base in 3 months, so Jeff needs all the help he can get. And luckily for him, a vet nursing student has turned up, and she's prepared to work for free.
Just finished my first year, and I'm required to do work experience over the summer, and spending the summer in Arrowtown, so this is where I'm experiencing work. It's better than I thought it would be, so that's good. And I don't mind cleaning or doing laundry, as long as I can watch some gory things. It's excellent.
Later that afternoon, the new rabbit arrives from Invercargill. But before Jeff presents it to the local Montessori school, he needs to check on one thing.
Yeah, it's a little boy. What was the last one? Was it a little girl? It was a...
I thought it was a boy.
Thought it was a boy? It's all fitting into place, isn't it? That's great. Okay, looks like it. Same gender. Fantastic.
We're gonna go and get it.
Here is the box. Yeah. And then there is a baby rabbit in there. Look.
Let's go and have a look at the surprise. We'll all go down the stairs.
Excitement is building in the preschool, but young Freddie gives the game away.
We got a young rabbit here. Got a new rabbit here.
So we decided that we would go and look for a replacement for Jupiter. So in this box, we have the most amazing thing. Let's have a look.
What's in the box?
Doesn't that look like Jupiter?
What's in the box? Jupiter has gone away on holiday.
So we've got another little bunny for you to look after and to love and to care for and to handle as carefully and as well as you did with Jupiter, which I'm sure you can all be very proud of.
Say, guys, you can say thank you for our rabbits.
They've named the new bunny Pluto, and he seems very happy with his new home. But sadly for the Aucklander, the story doesn't end there. The local equestrian centre has a major problem. 2-year-old stallion Zinzan is getting very pushy and highly unpredictable, just like his all-black namesake. So they've called in Jeff to sort him out.
We planned to have him gelded all along, but Jeff sort of said, leave him for as long as possible because they grow a bit bigger and a bit stronger, and now's the time that he's starting to get a bit big and a bit strong. So.
Zinzan senses that something's up, and he's starting to get suspicious.
We're going to geld him or castrate him. So he's going to get a full anaesthetic. And the whole thing should take about 10 minutes once he's down.
The first step is to calm the horse with a sedative, but Zinzan has other ideas. He isn't going down without a fight.
Stand still.
It's a dangerous business. This cute little colt has become a pawing, nipping, 350-kilo collection of testosterone.
Good.
Good fella.
Zinzan finally settles long enough for Jeff to inject the sedative.
And when I'm happy that he's sedated enough, then we give him his final bolus of injection, and we've got about, on average, you've got about 12 minutes to do your surgery once he's down. Lovely. Okay, that's it. Just let him relax a little bit.
Eventually, Zinzan gives up.
We'll have a towel. I never take these lightly at all. It's, you've really got to be on your toes because once they wake up, they can wake up very quickly. So if you're not finished, you've got a problem on your hands. There's a bit of adrenaline floating around both in Zinzan and myself at the moment.
While a few stallions can be worked and ridden like other horses, most are aggressive and unpredictable. Stallions tend to dominate mares and geldings, and fights often occur unless they are separated. It will take at least a month for the testosterone in Zinzan's system to drop. Then he'll become much easier to work with.
He's actually livelier and fierier than I thought he was going to be. Just sort of, I think because we'd moved him, he'd been around his friends and we'd taken him away.
With Jeff out in the field, Nikki's taking care of business at the clinic. A musterer has just pulled in from the back blocks, and he wants his 6 dogs to have a quick warrant of fitness before a big muster. He reckons a couple of them might be crook, and Nikki decides it'll be easier to take the job outside.
You're up to speed with all your dogs worming?
Yep, worming.
Yep. Okay. We'll just do this little one first. So we'll just...
Nikki decides it's best to give them all the vaccinations and doses they require. These are working dogs, used to performing as a team. They enjoy rounding up sheep or doing whatever the boss wants. They work together, eat together, and share sleeping quarters. But while they know each other pretty well, there are some things that are just plain embarrassing in front of your mates.
No, well, they're looking good. They're nice and fit and healthy, and that's good.
Yeah.
We like to see that. All right.
And there's some confusion when it comes to their breed.
Is it truly a breed? Handy?
Well,
It's in the computer. Is it truly a dog breed?
it isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, it's handy. Is it
Well, it's a cross. They're either handy hunt layer or
So-
handy feeding dog.
But what if the handy's not handy?
Well,
They're not handy at all.
if they're not handy, they're usually either a underwear or a fitting job.
That's just classic. Oh, that's brilliant.
Some jobs more exciting than others.
Julie's position at the practice is not that glamorous. She's doing mundane tasks like the laundry. It's just part of being the new kid on the block.
Done.
Jeff is visiting a farm high on the Crown Terrace, on the road to Wanaka. This is one of 60 farms throughout the country taking part in an important veterinary trial. New Zealand's 40 million sheep are drenched regularly to rid them of worms, but farmers are worried that the parasites may be building a resistance to the drenches. This could be catastrophic for one of our key export industries. Jeff's role in the trial is particularly glamorous. He's here to collect sheep poo.
I wouldn't think it'd be hard to spot poo, but colourblind vet, poor low light. It's not that easy, so I want to get fresh samples anyway, so it's nice to see them being punched straight away. We know that there's resistance to drugs out there. It's now just trying to quantify that and see what kind of worms are resistant, what areas that resistance is in, what breeds perhaps it's in predominantly, just try and get as much information from it as we can.
Jeff will take the results back to the clinic and count the number of worms in each sample. It's a sad afternoon at Remarkable Vets. The new Montessori bunny, Pluto, has suddenly passed away.
Very acutely, had been handled and fed and watered in the morning, and then left to its own devices in its hutch for only perhaps the space of half an hour. And within that time they came back and found it dead, which is really distressing for the staff, because they're really, they were getting very attached to the wee bunny. It's really sad. My job now is to see if we can ascertain a cause of death.
Jeff will carry out an autopsy on Pluto and try to solve the mystery. Pluto may have died from the calicivirus, and the local school needs to know.
Just try this in the theory, okay? You've got something booked in for 3 o'clock, right? Yeah. So we'll go to
Out in reception, Nikki and Alicia are coming to grips with the new computerised booking system.
Appointment. What was that time that other appointment was coming in? Would you head in for 3 o'clock? So push 3. Push down here.
Is that 3?
3? Yep. So then just push enter, because you don't need to worry about putting all the gift, because you're going to be deleting it anyway. So just try F7 there. You already have an appointment. Do you want to create a new appointment? Yes.
Simple, really.
Oh, so it just puts another line in.
Yes, so you've got...
Okay.
Jeff's dream is to one day have a paperless office. Meanwhile, he may have solved the bunny mystery.
Poor little Pluto, looks like it was calicivirus that caused death here. It's almost been 10 years, I think, since the virus was first released in New Zealand and had its major effect. It now seems to be showing a bit of a resurgence. We're seeing a few pet rabbit deaths, a few more pet rabbit deaths. We do vaccinate against the calicivirus, and when I was in the UK, we vaccinated quite a lot for the pet rabbits, but we started at 12 weeks, and I think that we're going to have to review that protocol and start vaccinating at a younger age for these pet rabbits and vaccinate them up until 12 weeks to get better protection for them, given the prevalence of the virus. I think that one of the lucky things about this is there's lots of calicivirus, and this is not one that affects humans, which is good. And despite the tragedy of Pluto's death, I mean, the speed of it is the one thing that I guess we take some comfort from, that it is very fast. So, he was fine in the morning, and within a couple of hours he was dead. So it's tragic, but at least he didn't suffer unduly.
Is it your writing?
No.
While the girls are getting the hang of the new computer system, Jeff's been sticking with the diary, which is causing some confusion.
Right,
This morning time is booked in tomorrow, but she must be booked in at 1.
1 o'clock it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but the arrow's going the other way. But
the
that's
arrow's
right.
going rescheduled to there, but yet the 10 o'clock's crossed off.
No, it should be in at 1 o'clock.
And she's bringing 2 cats and the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We'll give you half an hour for that. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
We can double book the consultation.
Now that we know how.
Now that we know how.
Jeff is about to analyse the results of the drench test.
And just pre-soaking some of these poo samples so they're a bit easier to mush up. Get the eggs out of. Staff think I'm mixing drinks. At least he's used to that sound, you see, the bars.
That's good.
While it's not exactly a high-tech solution, Jeff's using some Kiwi ingenuity. He's using a tea strainer and a teaspoon. Jeff finds that there are a large quantity of eggs present, despite the drenching, so the farm qualifies to become part of the trial.
So another one reaches the threshold.
Finally, there's some great news for little Achilles. He's found a home with Alicia.
I'm taking him home. He's not letting go of this one. He's, yeah, I mean, normally we rehome them, but I didn't rehome him purely because I didn't think that he'd be quite perfect, you know, for a family, a bit of an effort, and glad I didn't get rid of him because he's really cool.
Another cool cat is Diesel, the clinic cat. Jeff's 2-year-old daughter Carmen seems to have mistaken Diesel for a chicken. She's desperately trying to pluck him. It's the weekend, and Jeff's off to Glenorchy at the head of the lake. The Glenorchy races have been run annually for 45 years. It began as a day out for the farmhands from high country stations in the area. These days, it's a bit of an institution, and people come from miles around to be here. Jeff's the official vet for the 2005 race day, and his 3-year-old daughter Nigella is having a day out with her dad.
The young lady from Waikato is out in front of this stage. 2 laps to go.
The day consists of a series of races around the local golf course. While a few of the riders take it seriously, the emphasis is on a fun day out for families.
It'll be a quiet day. I think the crowds are down a little bit this year and the horses' numbers are down, having had to postpone it over a day but for wet weather yesterday. But should still be a good day, hopefully totally uneventful.
And it's shaping up nicely. There's always a large contingent of Queenstown locals prepared for a big day out. While Jeff's on hand in case accidents happen, he's mainly dealing with small problems, like this horse with a swelling on his side.
Oh, there's nothing sure, it will go down. Just take a bit of time. Yeah.
It's a bit weak inside.
One of the novelty races involves picking up pillion passengers, and a local policewoman's been reluctantly roped in to take part.
I think I lost a bet. It's just not happy.
At least there's time for a practice before the big event. But climbing onto the horse is not as easy as it looks.
As they say, Ferg. It's a big horse.
It's time for the big race. Strangely, trumpets don't appeal to everyone in the crowd. And they're off. The riders race to the midpoint where their passengers are waiting. And our policewoman's on the case. A quick sprint, and up she goes. Oh well, there's always next year's races. Luckily, Queenstown cops have no plans to introduce a mounted police unit.
I think you're right, horses have been this way.
Yeah, lots of horses have. And it's a bit smelly too.
It's horses for you.
Nigella's enjoyed her day out. and it looks like someone may be following in Dad's footsteps.
It's drying off quickly, isn't it? You do get a real sense that the community of Glenorchy pulls together for this one. Everybody's involved, all the races are sponsored by local businesses. It does have that sense of community that all communities should strive for.
Zinzan has recovered well from his surgery and is calming down nicely. And with their recent run of bad luck with rabbits, the Montessori school are not planning to replace Jupiter and Pluto. Next week on Remarkable Vets, disaster hits when the clinic suffers a major electrical failure. And we meet Harry, the amazing escaping cat.
He's got stuff for your puppies, for sheep and for pets, and potions and lotions and needles that